Rocky.
okay.
It's the most adorable thing ever.
Hmm.
Most adorable little creature.
This is gonna make for an interesting conversation.
Oh no, you didn't think he was so cute? Hey guys, it's the Fifth Star. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Albert, and we are reviewing Project Hail Mary, which stars Ryan Gosling, who plays a science teacher who goes to outer space to save the Earth. And this is based on a book, which, Jamie, you've read.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to hear what the differences and similarities and which one you like better. So we'll definitely talk about that. But before we get there, let's first start with our biggest positive and negative for the movie.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, what did you like most about Project Hail Mary, the movie?
I mean, this is kind of a spoiler, but the alien, Rocky.
Oh, okay.
It's the most adorable thing ever.
Hmm.
Most adorable little creature.
This is going to make for an interesting conversation.
Oh no, you didn't think he was so cute?
He was cute. He was cute.
He's so cute. Anyway, what was your positive then?
Okay, so my positive is I thought this was just so funny. The movie overall,
hilarious.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Not having watched the
You
trailers.
thought it was gonna be serious?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could take my kids to watch this and they would really enjoy it. I was curious, is the book really that funny too?
Yes.
Or is that Lord and
The book
Miller?
is entirely sarcasm and science.
Interesting. Okay. But obviously, Ryan Gosling just delivers on the humor. Ryan Gosling does this little thing, this quirk in the movie where he's a scientist. He rarely wears glasses, but then he'll let the glasses hang down off one ear under his chin. And when I saw that, I was like, that has to be something he chose to do.
I mean, I liked the glasses because he's supposed to be a little bit, like, awkward.
What's your biggest negative of the movie?
Probably that I didn't feel the emotional hits.
Ooh.
Which kind of, I don't know. I loved the humor,
Mhm.
and I think that is a huge positive of this movie.
Mhm.
But I did feel like the emotional beats just didn't really pack a punch for me personally.
Mm.
Like, I didn't feel when he's crying, I didn't like want to cry. I never like even got close to tearing up. And I think
Interesting.
there was like some kind of emotional disconnect for me. And I don't know why that was. Maybe it's because I read the book and I knew it was going to happen.
So
Because I did tear up when I was reading the book. So
Mm.
maybe that has something to do
So
with it.
I do think there is something structurally kind of off that they misstepped. And so later when we talk about the
Oh.
plot,
Okay.
I have a theory as to why, because I didn't read the book and I felt similarly.
Okay.
Like I didn't feel the emotional payoff. But
Mm.
overall, I thought it was heartwarming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree in terms of what you're saying. My biggest negative is that while it was funny, there were some parts that were just way too silly. The whole roommate bit gag was just like too much for me.
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
I thought it
It's
was
like
so
he's like hiding
funny.
around. It's like, oh, you can't hear me. Oh, like it was just like, to me, that was like a little too much. And I think with Rocky in general, I was just a little hit or miss with him as an alien overall.
Mm.
Like he was cute, but I do feel like he's kind of a rare cinematic alien because he doesn't have a face.
Yeah.
Most of them have faces, at least eyes. And because of that, like I had a hard time connecting. Like, what am I supposed to look at? They make the joke in the movie, right? All I have is his arms to like get his expressions and his voice.
Yeah.
So that part of it I did struggle with a
Yeah.
little. Yeah. Okay, so before we get to our score reveals, can you tell us how much of the book is similar to the movie?
Honestly, it's like basically beat for beat.
Really?
They did obviously take out a lot of stuff because the book is really long and detailed.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of chunks missing, but they barely changed anything.
Okay.
I mean, they added a character. Carl's not in the book. I thought he was a
Oh,
funny
he was really funny.
addition. There's
Art-
definitely some explanations that I don't think are clear that are in the book
Got
that
it.
like maybe could have helped the audience more. For instance, the amnesia that he's experiencing
Mhm.
is medically induced amnesia. And then Rocky and him learning each other's language.
Yeah.
He's also being translated into Rocky's language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then at the
That makes more
end,
sense.
when he's teaching the kids on Arid, he's fluent in their language, but he can't actually make the sounds.
Yeah.
So he uses an instrument to like teach them.
Oh, that's cool. And he's not just like talking.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
obviously, why would the little Iridians understand English?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I guess like through the
so little
vortex,
details like that.
it's being translated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like the book better or the movie better?
It's so hard to say these things because like I
It's
think the
just different
book did
formats.
add a lot more like context,
Mhm.
and Strat's character makes a lot more sense
Mhm.
to me from the book. I think Rocky is also a lot more lovable in the book
Oh.
because he is a lot more like amazed by humanity. But the movie was way funnier.
Oh,
The movie
interesting.
was way funnier. Ryan Gosling did such an amazing job.
Mhm.
It was very entertaining. I don't know. If you like reading books, read the book.
Mhm.
If you don't like reading books, I don't think I'd recommend it to you.
Oh, okay.
But I
So
would recommend the movie.
okay, so we're gonna get into revealing our score. If this is your first time watching us, we are called a fifth star because if we both give this movie 5 stars, what's gonna happen, Jamie?
The podcast will be shot into space.
Yeah. So will this be our last episode? You guessed that I give this a 4.0 out of 5 stars, and I gave it a 3.5.
I gave it a 4.5.
What? What?
My
Based-
negative that I gave earlier?
Yeah, that's a big
negative I could think of.
That's a big negative.
It is big,
That's
but
kind
it's
of
like
why.
a 0.5 big.
Wow.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's
Otherwise,
like a 1
it would have been a 5-star movie.
I think so, yeah. If
Wow.
I had actually like cried or like really felt those
Yeah.
impactful moments, it would have been a 5. Yeah. I think it would have.
I mean,
I genuinely couldn't think of anything else wrong with it.
I looked at the letterbox score after I watched it.
Wait, what is it?
It's like a 4.2 or 1 or something, and it's like all mostly 5s. And I was like, what?
My husband loved it. He was like, he came out of the theater and he was like, that was such an amazing movie. That's like on the same tier as like Interstellar.
No, come on.
That's what he said.
No.
Yep.
No.
I don't understand why you're saying no. So let's get into it.
All right. So there are things I really liked about this movie.
Right.
All the puzzles.
Yeah.
The lab scenes were so much fun. And then the whole middle of the movie is this long, like, kind of getting to know and meet who this alien is and communicate and all this stuff. And then I was like, this is just like Arrival, but not as good. You know? Like,
it's a lot like that beat is a lot like
yeah, and it was.
But that's not what the movie's about. That was B story.
Yeah, and then the movie just totally hard turns into like, oh, this is not a save the planet like adventure movie. This is actually a buddy comedy. And like that whole other thing is just like B plot, you know? And then so I was like really thrown for a loop, but I was still enjoying it. It was a lot of fun still. Until like the ending, we finally get the reveal that he was kidnapped essentially and forced onto this trip.
Yes.
Against his will. Then I was like, no, like you need that to have come way earlier. Because my argument is the reason why it doesn't really hit when he's like willing to jump off the thing to save the sample is that at the moment you're watching it and you're just like, oh, he's just like a pretty like brave guy, smart guy, and he's just always doing the right thing. If you knew earlier, like he was here against his will, and then he still chose to do that, it would have been like, wow, you know? It would have really like meant something more. And
well, that's why his final decision means something more. To sacrifice and to go save Rocky.
Yeah, to save his friend. And so then it becomes more about just like the friendship and not about
That's
him.
an actual like arc though.
Yeah, and I think that one still worked, but there's still 2 arcs happening, you know, like there's still like Earth still matters and him as a character by himself before he met Rocky still matters. To me, like what really, after I knew all that, I was like, you know, when he woke up, yes, he had a medically induced coma, but at some point, maybe at the end of the second act, he should have been like, I should not be here. Like and he should be angry about the fact that he was forced to be here. And then really be questioning himself, like, I can't do this, you know, like this, they chose the wrong person, you know, really be grappling with that so that when he actually chooses to make all these really sacrificial moves, it really hits. And so that really kind of took the wind out of the sails for me.
That's interesting. I think, well, and maybe it's because I knew what was coming and I already knew his character.
Okay.
But like when I read the book, it was such a betrayal. Like when Strat arrests him, I was like so angry at Strat, like so mad. In the book, after he's arrested, he gets put in a cell.
Mhm.
And Strat comes to visit him one
Mhm.
last time
Mhm.
before the mission. And
Hmm.
she gets to finally like explain who she is
Oh,
and why she's like the way she is.
interesting.
Everything she is about like saving Earth. And she knows like all the disaster that they're about to face. And she's like, if I have to sacrifice one person
Mhm.
to save the entire world, then I'll do it, even though he doesn't deserve it. There's this great line where after she explains everything to him, he goes, "You go straight to hell." And she's like, "Oh, I am."
Wow.
And then she like leaves. She's like, "You're going into space. I'm going straight to
Mm.
hell." I think it's like a
She,
really,
like, fully acknowledges what she's doing,
yes,
but it's like, "I'm still gonna do what I think is the right thing to do for the sake
yes,
of the, yeah, greater good."
yes. And I think what's important is that him believing this whole time that he is brave and he is a hero,
Mhm.
and then to come to the end, and because that's like the climax.
So in the book, it doesn't reveal to that moment either?
Yes. So the
Oh,
climax
man.
is that reveal that he's not actually a hero at all.
Yeah.
He's not a hero. He was forced onto this ship.
Mhm.
He is only there because like he's a coward. And he's like filled with so much shame over that. Oh, this whole time I believed I was brave. I was something. I was like so sacrificial.
Mhm.
Turns out I'm not. Turns out none of this was my choice. What am I? I'm just a coward. And so that's why, like, Rocky saving his life earlier and, like, sacrificing himself, well, Grace gets to make that final choice to save Rocky at the end.
Mm.
And that is, like, him realizing, I can be brave. I can choose to do the self sacrificial thing
Mm.
and save not only Rocky, but his entire race.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's like his retribution in a way.
So I like what you're saying. I think it didn't translate in the movie. It might have just been the placement of where the reveal happens. Because I think maybe it should have come after he's collected the samples and he's heading back to Earth.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up with the alarm of like there's a leak, a contaminant. And then he thinks, oh, we've actually lost the samples, before he realizes to seal it all up. If in that moment he thinks he's failed the whole mission and all of Earth is doomed, and then it reveals that, oh, he actually wasn't even sent here by his own choice, that would have really hit.
Mm.
And then for him in that moment of despair to be like, you know what, but out of my love for this friend, because as we talk about themes, like what's the theme that you get from this movie or from the.
The main theme is like cowardice and self sacrifice.
So I see that the main theme that I got was about loneliness and connection.
Mm.
So he's alone, and then the one key line is that Yao, like commander, says it's not bravery, it's just finding someone to be brave for. Then you realize like, oh, Grace has nobody.
Mm.
So yeah, like if he's not going on a one-way ticket out to sacrifice for somebody, then like I get why he doesn't want to go, right? Like
Well,
just
he's got his kids though. He's got all his middle school kids.
yeah, that's true, but it seems clear like
And
he's
she uses that. Strat uses that to like
yeah,
motivate
at least
him.
in the movie it doesn't come across like he loves them like his own kids and all that kind of stuff. Like other people have family and things like that. And so in the end, it takes him going out into space to actually make that kind of deep connection with someone or something, being Rocky, and then he's able to be brave for him, right? Out of his
Yeah.
care and concern and love for this being.
No, I think you're absolutely right. But it does tie into the cowardice because
Yeah.
that's something that's a little more explored in his thoughts
Mhm.
is that he is also too afraid of finding love. He's too afraid of vulnerability. He's too
Mhm.
afraid to like trust someone so deeply.
Mm.
And so that has kept him from making connections.
Mm.
And I think like that's why he never married.
Oh, so yeah, none of that was really put in the movie, but that's
Yeah, but like
interesting
he
backstory.
but the fact that like you're seeing that theme and I'm seeing this theme and
Hmm.
then like they're kind of tied together.
They are tied together, yeah. Like, if you had an opportunity, one-way ticket to save Earth, would you do it? Earth has 30 years left if you don't go.
It's hard to, like, make a hypothetical like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the right answer is yes.
No,
but it's like, realistically, would I say yes? I don't know.
So
it's a trolley problem.
Yeah. So I would say yes, but not because I totally agree with that commander. Not because I'm brave, but because I have 2 kids who...
Interstellar.
Yeah. In 30 years, they'll be in their 40s and have plenty of life left.
Yeah.
I would want a future for them, so I would go, right?
Yeah.
But if I didn't have kids, like you guys, you're married, like if I was just married and didn't have kids, I don't think I would go, because the next 30 years is all we have left, essentially. You know, like we would only be getting a couple more decades after that. To me, I think the whole, like, him finding someone to be brave for, and that's the catalyst.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that is probably the theme stated, is the whole finding someone to be brave for. I broke down the structure of the story, and I kind of like split it up. So it's set up, we find out Earth is dying, he's alone on a spaceship. Slowly he discovers why he's on the spaceship and what he's there to do. And then the, like, conflict comes when the alien ship shows up. And then that kind of becomes a relationship that they build, and they learn each other's languages. And then they realize they're there for the same mission. Then the midpoint is when they're collecting Talmiba. And then they both almost die. And that's, like, kind of a bad guys close in sort of situation. All is lost because they both are nearly dead. And then Rocky saves his life. Also, I love that little detail of, because he's so hot that when he touches Grace, he leaves, like, a burn print of his hand.
That's what, I
on
missed
his
that.
arm. And it's like, wow. And he looks at the burn mark when he's deciding whether to save Rocky, which I just thought was a cool detail.
I totally missed that detail. Yeah, that's good.
And then the climax is when he learns that he didn't choose to go on the mission. Therefore, he's ashamed of his cowardice. But he learns to choose bravery and sacrifice when he goes to save Rocky instead of returning to Earth. And then the falling action is Earth receives the Beatles and they fix the sun. And then Rocky is okay. And Grace takes him back to Arid. And then they both live happily ever after on Arid. And he's still a little teacher.
There's talk of a potential sequel, so...
Well, that is kind of crazy because in the book... it actually is a time skip, and he's like 50 years old.
Oh, and he's still there on Arid?
Yeah, and he uses a cane because the gravity is so bad that his joints are all messed up. And so his life expectancy is shortened.
Kind of sad, but really sweet. Even though we didn't give this 5 stars, we are going to pick a 5-star scene, our favorite scene. So I'm going to nominate 2 scenes. First one is the Rocky sacrifice scene. I thought that was the most emotionally impactful moment.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice how it was glitching and it's dark and the lights flashing. So it just worked really well.
I also kind of have 2, but it's the same moment.
Okay, that's fine.
It's when they first meet, and then he learns that they do the little dance.
Oh, yeah.
And then he learns that Rocky just imitates. And then when they do it again to say goodbye, I really loved both of those moments.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue, but it was so well done. It was so cute. It immediately, like, created a connection between them.
Yeah, that was good. My second nominated scene would be kind of in that whole segment, which is when they're trying to find a voice for Rocky. And they're going through all the voices. And then the whole, like, Meryl Streep can do anything was so good. Okay, so what do you think? Between the 3 scenes, what are we going to give our 5th star to?
I settle for, like, your scene, the first one.
The sacrifice?
The sacrifice, yeah.
Okay.
That was really well done, really iconic. It was shot really well. The lights going in and out made it really tense.
Well, let us know what your favorite scene was and what you thought about the movie. If you saw it.
And like and subscribe. Help us out if you like what you see.
And next week, we are going to be reviewing Rental Family. So join us next time as we continue our quests for the 5th star.